Hi Scorpio, thank you for joining me. We're going to take a look at the incoming energies for the remainder of April for you. So it's a general read, it won't resonate for everyone, so please take the bits that fit and leave the rest, and cross watchers bear in mind that roles can be reversed. I'm going to start with a Work Your Light Oracle card. Let's take a look. You get Break the Chain, ancestral patterns, healing and rewriting the future. So I feel with that, do you know when families just seem to have a habit of doing the same thing, you know, if we're following in our parents' footsteps, even if that's not what we want, or, you know, not where our heart's leading us, or conforming with what's normal, what's supposed to be normal. I just kind of feel like, yeah, we maybe need to come away from that a little bit. And be true to ourselves, follow our rightful path, what we feel is right for us. There's definitely a chain there that's saying we need to break, and a cycle. So let's look for Scorpio. Page of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, Four of Cups. Sorry, that was Seven of Pentacles, not 8. Two of Wands. I feel like we're waiting on something to happen or something to come along here. I feel like we're in a state of limbo. I was going to say, it's like nothing's maybe really materialising the way that you hope at the moment. And I'm not saying things are necessarily going wrong. There might just be one area of your life that you're waiting on something, and it's not materialising. It's not coming to fruition, or what you're being given is just rather disappointing. Let's take a look. I just feel like this is probably quite a reflective month, and I am picking up a lot of disappointment, and it's almost like, oh, I thought that one was going to work out, kind of thing, and it's not worked out. Let me look at the Page of Swords. Excuse me, hay fever. The Magician and the Knight of Pentacles, sorry. It feels like at the start of the month you probably were quite optimistic. I feel like you were in a really good mindset. You know, this is going to be a brilliant month for me. Things are moving in the right direction. I do think as the month goes on, that's when the disappointment's going to start to set in. And it might be one of those, you know, where one thing happens after another, and you kind of start getting a little bit defeated, and, you know, that optimism starts to fade a little bit, because you're like, why am I having this kind of month or week or day? It's just one thing after the other. But it does feel like at the start of the month we were really excited, and it might have been that you've been kind of working towards something, we've been manifesting something, and actually an opportunity did present itself. Something that would have made a major change to your life. I am beginning to wonder if that wasn't all that it seemed. Let me just move on a little bit. Let me look at the Seven of Pentacles. The situation that you're dealing with where you kind of wonder, do I keep giving to this or do I move on? Again, it's funny, we've got this kind of family link. Oh, yeah. The Six of Cups is giving me the nostalgia, and although it can represent a soul connection, often with romance or reconciliation, I'm getting more the memories and the nostalgia. I'm beginning to wonder, you know, if this is, you know, family has got a certain idea, a certain plan that they'd like you to follow, and you're not kind of aligning with that. I think I've picked up on that with your readings before. And it's almost like, but there's other things that I want to do. But I feel like you're somewhat stalled. So I don't know if there's pressure, if there's an external pressure. It doesn't have to be family, but from somewhere, or something that you have to do, which is preventing you from really doing what you want to do. And in life, that could be a number of things. You know, we all have responsibilities. It could be finances that hold people back, a number of things. But I just feel as though I'm kind of got this dream of a life that I want to pursue, but I don't feel able to do it. And like, there is definitely, this gent here is like, I've put all this work in, but he's got this one pentacle left here. Do I put it there where the rest are? Or do I take this and plant it somewhere else? Is the reward for the work that I'm putting in enough? Am I satisfied? This reading is not making me feel satisfied in any way. Let's look at the Four of Cups. You might find that there's a need to apologise to somebody later in the month, or vice versa. Three of Pentacles. Ten of Cups. I don't know if this friends or family. Yeah, I do think later on in the month there's going to be a need for an apology. It's going to be neat. It's going to have to be heartfelt, because this is a very special connection to you. So whether it's, somebody's having a bad day and has just let rip, there'll be a lot of remorse, I do think, attached to that, because this is a special connection. I'm getting more friends or family. I'm not picking up romance. And it feels like, we're supposed to be working together, so you just might have found that there'll be a period of time where you're maybe working against each other, things are pulling apart rather than being as a team. I don't think it's going to be terribly damaging to the relationship, whatever it is, but I think if you're the person who needs to deliver that apology, maybe don't take too long with that, just accept if you've made a mistake and say sorry. And vice versa, if this person apologises to you, as upset as you might be about the situation, try not to hold a grudge, Don't let it drag on too long, because I don't really feel like it needs to. I think it's going to be one of those things said in the heat of the moment. You maybe part ways, but just don't let that distance grow too long. Let's look at the Two of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. I'm just going to look at the Two of Pentacles here as well. Gosh, what's going on here? Some tough energy there, actually. So for the Two of Wands, I get the Ace of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords. I feel like at the back end of the month, you're going to kind of shut down emotionally. It's making me think, when women are in their cycle, we can just get a little bit annoyed with people, a little bit short, a little bit snappy. So I don't know if there's something going on in the background that's going to be messing with your emotions a little bit, and it's making me feel a bit more now like you might be the one who maybe goes off at somebody when maybe they didn't deserve that, or it wasn't quite their fault. And I feel like that it's making me feel stressed. I do feel at the start of the month and again at the end of the month, there's an opportunity to do something to change your life in quite a big way. There really is potential, but I can't work out what's holding you back. Maybe there is something to do with this chain, something that you feel tied to. And I think you're going through cycles of kind of, connecting to your heart, but it's like you're talking yourself out of things. Yes, I want to do that, but then something else comes into your mind as almost a barrier. That's why I can't do that. But is that really a barrier? For the Two of Pentacles, we get the Empress, the Death card, the Nine of Wands. It's making me wonder if there's a mother type figure, or you know, if it's something to do with responsibilities as a mother as to why you can't follow this path that you like to join. I think you're probably in a place at the minute where you are really weighing up those pros and cons with a situation, and it's difficult for me to know what it is, but with the pentacles showing up the way that they are, these are things that we dedicate our time and energy to, a lot of time and energy, you know, because we want them to be long lasting. You know, we do put the hard work in because ultimately this is how we build our sense of security for our lives. You know, it's almost the pinnacle. So if we talk about work, we spend so much of our time at work, you know, it allows us to run our home, live the kind of lifestyle that we want. It's a big deal that we get that right. You know, that we're comfortable at work is, you know, what we'd hope for at the very least. It's major like that. It's a major change that's needed. That death card, you know, is again showing me that there's some form of change that needs to occur. But I do wonder if you've got a misplaced sense of loyalty, or like I say, you know, maybe putting pressure on yourselves that you can't do something in case it impacts somebody else's life, but this is your life. Only you can live it, and we only get one shot. So ultimately, I'm going to draw you an advice card, but I'm going to say, you know, do what feels right for you. Let's get you an advice card, because I'm sure you're feeling quite conflicted throughout the month of April. The World card. That talks to me about completing a cycle and being ready to start a new one. It brings with it, you know, amazing opportunity and potential. I'm just going to say, like, don't let that pass you by. So I will leave that there for you. I do hope you can take something from it, and thank you for joining me.